beat up for the rest of your life for something you did that you decided, I can't love this man forever. This is just me being selfish because he's treating me right. It's all about me. And I don't have the love to give him back. And I'm going to make his life miserable. So you did him a favor, okay? You got to come to terms with that. Forgive yourself. Love yourself. And you know what you do? You go take that little red sticker off the ticket. You walk yourself right back over to the designer section. You begin to tell yourself who you are. You place yourself right back over there. You build your self-esteem up because you're going to attract at your own emotional health and it's your own emotional level. You begin to tell yourself daily who you are. Know who you are, attract who you are, and don't listen to society tell you it's got to do with age or anything. Because the statistics show most black women don't get married until after they're 32 anyway. And so don't listen to all of the society stuff. It's a long thing that I probably don't have time to actually tell you about why the lateness of our society getting married. But look, but you know what? Financially, a lot of times what happens is, I'm just going to say this because you need to know this. There's a big difference between what we go through in the African American community financially compared to some other races, especially in the Jewish race. At 13, they have their bar mitzvah. They are treated as an adult. So as an adult, what happens in that family is the reason why they're so successful and they have this look of success is because at 13 years they begin to give them money and finances and business responsibilities. Now, during that time, they fail. They school them, they tutor them, but you're under a very structured setting because you're in a household. So the risks are less. What happens is, for 10 years through college and all that, they get a chance to fail. Now, we wait till we get out of college, start spending, Sally Mae chasing us down the street, and then it takes 10 years to recover off those financial things. So now we're about 33 before the black men, the black women can really say, I really afforded all this stuff. I didn't recover it. Then it's erased off my credit. I think I'm financially able to do it. That's what we do. They had 10 years to play around with that money under their parents' roof. And then to be advised to say, oh, no, that. So by the time they get out to 23, they're starting saying, who am I going to share this empire with? Let's start making this thing work. So they start getting married at 26, 28. We start 32, 35, 37. Because we came, who gonna want all this?
So I don't know if anyone else has this concern, but knowing that we start so much later, and I'm still financially trying to get it together, I'm okay with marrying later. That's not an issue. I want kids, though. Like, I want to have children. And so, like, I'm worried about my biological clock, and I know that fertility stuff is, growing, and then it's like, but that's another concern of mine as an African-American woman that's dating. I don't want to be someone's baby mama, but I do want to, have time. Like, I'm willing to do the whole dating process, go through that, whatever it takes to get married. But then I'm like, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, this biological clock is ticking. I got my period at 9, so how much longer are these eggs gonna last? Right, it's like
time to freeze those eggs. So, and so I understand. Here's the thing. A lot of times, what happens is because of that anxiousness, we give away our pot of stew. Okay, in the Bible they talk about Esau, Jacob. They came in. Jacob had it wasn't nothing but a pot of stew. But it was real. When you starving, you wanted, you needed. His brother came in. He devalued his entire inheritance birthright for that pot of stew. Men, there are two things that they can't do themselves: birth those children, and I won't say the second thing because they can't have sex with themselves a lot. There's so much stuff, crazy stuff. But anyway, it's my alternatives. But the childbirth, that's two things that they want. Am I right? The men they want to continue their posterity. And so what I'm saying to you is, when we give away that bowl of stew, we give our birthright for a bowl of stew. Now where's your leverage? Where's your power? Do you understand? We just give it without any demands. Now, if you're okay with being a single mother, that's one thing. I don't have a problem with that. But a lot of times, a man, because of your anxiousness, what I find is they will say, "I want a child from you, but I don't want you." But a lot of women will voluntarily do that when they want to be in a committed marital relationship, but because they feel like my time is clicking, maybe this is how I get them. Well, actually, if that's what he really wants, that's what you don't give him without a commitment.
It's like we got engaged. Mary has a song, and one of the verses talks about, I got engaged. I took the ring and acted like I do without the ceremony. And she was like, now I'm 22 and all the little ones and all that. I guess it's what you want, you'll go after, and
That's different from the single mothers who just happen to,
right.
That's a whole different story. But I'm talking about some man who convinces you, who sits in on purpose, and you beyond 16 years old, and they convince you to let's go and just have my child. I'm not gonna make any commitment. No, I'm not on the clearance side.
Yeah, I don't know what your faith is, but that was a concern for me as well. And for me, it's coupled with, not anymore, thank God, but it was coupled with a lot of issues, girl issues, surgeries, concerns, not knowing what I'm calling off work, those kinds of things, right? Michelle Pullen is now the director of membership at my old church at Salem. But she had her children older, and she pulled me and said, God will restore your youth if you do it the way he asked you to. And so for me, I'm okay either way. I don't know how anybody else is like, do you have any children? So we're the three down here without kids. But I'm okay with, for me, being with having kids, without having kids. Like, I'm not going to jump off the roof if I don't have any children. And I recognize that when I was married in the past, we were struggling to conceive. Thank you, Jesus, for not allowing that. Hallelujah. Anyway, y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Yolanda over there about to take her earrings off like, yeah, because she knows deeper stories. But it's, Pastor would pray for infertile couples on New Year's Eve. And so we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll do that. We want kids. And when we came down and we saw these women literally falling apart, I felt like I shouldn't be in the line. Like, they were devastated. They had lost children. They had miscarried. They just never got pregnant, whatever those situations were, but they were completely devastated. That wasn't my story. And so for me, that's not a issue, I don't know if my friend guy wants more kids or not, because his kids are grown. I don't know how you feel about starting over, but I think you make a good point. That's not an option, period. So he can't, remember Beverly Hills Cop, you won't get me with banana in the tailpipe. You won't get me with that. Shifting a little bit, talking about.
Can I ask her if she was open for adoption?
I am so open for adoption.
Good.
Some of my friends in the past have been adopted. So I've been, actually, as a child, I've always wanted to adopt. Like, ever since I've known of the idea of adoption, I always said I was going to have my kids and then I was going to adopt. And I do public relations, so one of the clients that I do work with is an adoption agency. So even working with this adoption agency and knowing that so many black children don't get adopted. Like, there's so many black children that are waiting to get adopted, and most of them get adopted by white families because black people aren't willing to adopt them. So I am definitely willing to adopt,
Somebody's prayer. Because, When I said it and I watch you light up like that, you are absolutely somebody's prayer, some child. And so literally, if you're on hold, don't, things come, don't decide there's only one way. You get on the GPS, they tell you one route, 2 or 3. One might take 3 minutes longer than the other, but you know what I'm saying? But when you have a heart, it's already in your heart to say, oh my God, I love adoption. That is God's design. That's how he adopted us into his family. He loves that. So for him to put that spirit in you is awesome. I love it.
What is the oldest child that you adopt? Like age.
I don't know. It's probably you can't take a teenager because they be set in their ways but I am an aunt. I have in total I have 5 nieces and nephews. 2 of them live in Mississippi. 2 of them are here. My oldest is actually in the Marines. I can't believe that boy is in the Marines. But anyway. But my 2 youngest, Kayla and Timothy, I treat them like my kids. They don't have a mom. Like my brother's wife passed away in 2011. So even though I'm not their mom and they have my mom, they have their other grandmother, they have my brother, but I always try to be there for them. Okay, we're going to go somewhere. We got them this weekend and I have my friend's dog. I'm okay, I'm bringing the dog over so we play with the dog and I got the kids and we're going to do this. Even when they get on my nerves. My nephew told me the other day in Target, he's 11. He's going to put his arm around me. He's going to say, Vanessa, it's okay if you don't get married, right? Marriage is not meant for everyone. I was like, little boy, you are not going to speak that into my life. I don't know who you think you are. I'm in Target, you are not going to speak that into my life. Who? Yeah, my hand did this for a second, and I was like, I'm in Target, I'm with some people, they looking at me. I was like, little boy, you ain't going to speak that into my life. I don't know who you think you talking to. But yeah, that did happen to me. I almost knocked his teeth out that day. I still love him, though.
Anita, you said you're not there yet with adoption.
If I can, I want to use the eggs that God gave me. I really do. I really love children. I really want to have children. I pray that I get twins because I'm older, so it could be a one-stop shop. So that is my hope and prayer. I know a lot of children need to be adopted. I just really want to have my own kids.
As a nurse, you understand medically some alternative things that you could do to still have children, right?
It's funny you should say that. So my doctor I just talked to her and I was like, hey, it was my annual visit and I'm like, what do you think? What's the chances I'm turning 40 in 2 weeks? What do you think? Should I, pray a lot harder for this husband to come or what? And she was like, she's like, you're very healthy. You're working out. You really don't even look the age that you are. And I was like, okay, so what are we saying here? I'm for real. What do I need to expect? Give me the good, bad, and the ugly. And she's like, well, honestly, my primary care physician had just came back from maternity leave. She's 49. So she had just had a baby. And she told me that the first one that she had was at 43. And I said, did you have any difficulties, with this pregnancy, And I'm thinking, yeah, she's a physician. She had to do some tricks. Something happened. And she said, no, they just monitor her closely because of her age. Took a lot of more prenatal tests to make sure the kids didn't have Down syndrome or any other birth defects. But she said it's okay. So she made me breathe for a second, but when you're sitting on this rock and you're like, Boaz, where you at? It's just, I don't know. But what I did want to hang out at? Let's go back to that value thing and being back on the sales rack. So I think a lot of times you do attract what you feel. Now, in my eyeballs, and this is crazy, I have had people, a lot of men tell me this, on Facebook perhaps. I'm a social butterfly. I will have men get in my inbox and they'll be like, oh, you look too happy. You be out here doing too much, because I like to go. I like to travel. I like to enjoy my family, my friends. Like, I just like to do things and enjoy life. So I've had people tell me, like, you're doing too much. I get a lot of, you are too outgoing. Maybe not that